What's up, everybody? This is part 2 of lefties pretty much losing it. We're gonna do something. We're gonna watch some clips. We're gonna also look at Grok, and I've tried this on multiple of the other AI models and news articles on major search engines. Pretty much comparing left articles to right articles to decipher who's telling the truth, who's making it up. These mainstream channels that you guys watch, like the Midas Touch, is so far delusionally out there. I don't even understand how they can wake up and look at themselves in the mirror. What have they done for this country? They're defending sending normal average citizen taxpayer money to where we don't know where it's going while we have people starving in the streets. I'm all for helping everybody, but when you look at the news articles and the top 3 news stories aren't even about America. They're about Iran, they're about Ukraine, they're about Gaza, it's about Greenland. When are we going to worry about putting solutions to the problems that we have so we can help these other? But anyway, we're going to get into some of the videos. We're going to get into comparing left and right articles, and we're also going to look at some of the debunked things that they've said about conservatives and the Trump administration. And I'm going to try to prove to everybody it's not about race, religion, skin color, nothing. We don't care about none of that. We love everybody, but when it comes to defending our families and our livelihoods, we're going to have to start doing something. We're going to have to talk about that. So if you do this down here, it helps the algorithm. I know my shit's crap, but it'll get better. With that said, let's knock out some of these far left conspiracies.
Seconds out.
Muster up this last round.
Get ready. Let's fight.
Woo!
1, 2,
there you go.
3.
That's a
4,
knockdown.
5, 6, 7, 8. You okay?
We're back. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this channel, Liberal Hive Mind. It's a pretty good channel. I suggest you check it out. Do the thing down at the bottom. I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, it's so interesting how the media is desperately clinging on to the same tired narrative, a fake phenomenon that they've been trying to build out of thin air, basically since the moment Donald Trump was inaugurated. This idea that Trump voters are having regrets, Trump buyers' remorse. You know, they've tried to build this narrative by pushing these stories of disgruntled federal employees who got fired probably because their roles in government were most likely dead weight. But basically stories like this.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do.
But what I'm noticing is that it's always the same lady, over and over again. They keep trying to manufacture this whole idea that Trump voters are jumping ship in droves, but obviously it's not really this grand phenomenon when they have nothing to show for it except the same recycled testimony from the same couple of employees. But this idea of Trump voter regret is honestly kind of rich, because as the media is laser focused on this fake drama that doesn't really exist, they seem to be ignoring a much bigger and actually much more relevant story, which is telling the exact opposite story. You know, like the United Auto Workers president, Shawn Fain, now flipping on the Democrats and basically singing the praise of Donald Trump and this administration thanks to his auto industry tariff policy. Yeah, it seems like the bigger story is, again, the exact opposite. Not that people regret voting for Trump, but that probably a whole chunk of people, especially in the working class, regret not voting for Donald Trump had they voted for Kamala. And let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so take a look at this. Here's United Auto Worker Shawn Fain singing praise for this administration.
We are ecstatic to see an administration finally address the unfair trade laws in this country These laws have destroyed the American working class. They've destroyed communities in this country and virtually every state for decades.
Kind of wild, I gotta tell you. Especially if you remember this guy's face. This is the guy who literally was campaigning for Kamala Harris. He's a Democrat union boss, and now he's singing Trump's praises on auto tariffs. This is the guy who called Donald Trump a scab.
For us in the labor movement, it's real simple. Kamala Harris is one of us. She's a fighter for the working class. And Donald Trump is a scab!
And it's funny how the mainstream media largely is pretending as if this doesn't exist. No, they'd rather focus on creating these character profiles, telling the story of disgruntled federal employees, of course, instead of highlighting any of this. And trust me, it's...
And you realize, like, the majority, since, like, people hereditary, it's like a hive mind, like a pack mentality. So if they can rile up enough people or pay enough people $1,000, give them a script to protest an American company, an American car company at that, where most of the states that Tesla is at have stock options invested in, which is taxpayer money, which is the constituents of these public servants' retirement funds, their 401ks. And if you tank an American company, how patriotic is that? I don't care what side you're on, left, right, it doesn't matter. Tim Waltz, first of all, you can't beat up my grandmother, then along the majority of MAGA people. And why does it have to resort to that? And the first thing your mind can think of is WWE? Well, then accept Kane's challenge. Yeah. The governor, what's his name? He challenged you to a friendly, charity wrestling match. No, you won't do it. You're all talk. You've admitted you're a knucklehead. You've admitted that you don't use your brain half the time. I mean, I wouldn't follow you out of a foxhole if my life depended on it, Bubba. I'm sorry, but you don't have any common sense to your body. And I could tell you're not a leader. Because you could get up on stage. Could somebody put you up on stage? Stop paying protesters to ruin American companies. Stop. Before we fight back.
It's not like this story is new. This has been happening for a while here. A couple weeks back, Sean Fain actually explained his stance on tariffs.
You have come out strongly in favor of his tariffs. Can you explain why?
We're in a crisis mode in this country. There is no single issue in this country that has affected our economy and working class people and their jobs than NAFTA, the USMCA, and our trade laws, our broken trade system. And we're in a crisis mode. We are triaging right now. So I hear this debate about, blanket tariffs and all this stuff. But look, we're in a triage situation. Tariffs are an attempt to stop the bleeding from the hemorrhaging of jobs in America for the last 33 years. So as we speak right now, decisions are still being made. Warren Truck Plant right here in Michigan. There's over 2,000 people laid off. And a simple decision. Stellantis is shifting truck production to Mexico. They could change overnight and move those trucks right back here to Warren, Michigan, and put people back to work. You have Deere workers in Racine, Wisconsin. We have Mack truck workers in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where the companies saying they're going to move their jobs to Mexico. So tariffs aren't the end solution, but they are a huge factor in fixing this problem.
Do you think that it's possible that Donald Trump might just be the president after those long 3 decades you just described? He might just be the president this time to help bring...
I'm so tired of this guy. Let's see. What else we got? Lefty's losing it. While we're waiting on this to load up, let's look at some of these. Let's look at some of these.
They're pro-worker. They're about making sure American jobs stay in America and that American work.
Oh, let me pause that. All right, and then we'll wait for this to load. But first, we'll pull up Grok. All right, so claim number 1, Trump called neo-Nazis very fine people. And when they showed you this on NBC, ABC, all that, CNN, they showed you part of the clip. But what they didn't show you is prior and after, where he was condemning the white supremacists. So the claim Trump referred to neo-Nazis and white supremacists at 2017 Charlottesville rally as very fine people. It's debunked. Trump's actual statement distinguished between statue protesters and violent extremists, saying the very fine people were on both sides of the statue debate, not neo-Nazis. He explicitly condemned the latter, stating, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. Fact checkers like PolitiFact and Snopes, it clarified this misrepresentation multiple times. Channels have showed you both sides of it multiple times, yet I still hear people say it, like Chuck Schumer and them. Let's see, number 2, and then we'll move on to the next clip. Russia collusion proved Trump won illegally in 2016. Okay, the claim. The Mueller investigation confirmed Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 election. It's debunked. The 2019 Mueller report found no evidence of a conspiracy between Trump's campaign in Russia to influence the election. While it detailed Russia's interference, it didn't establish coordination. Conservatives argue this exonerates Trump, though critics note it didn't fully clear him of the obstruction concerns, but it was completely debunked. Okay, so here is an example of the education system failing Americans. I want you to do an exercise. If you're on the left or you're leaning and you don't know, I want you to try to take a survey of your own and ask some Gen Zers, and not all kids, there's a bunch of smart kids out there, I'm not saying all, but the majority of our schooling. Ask them if they can name 5, hell, 3 countries in Europe. Okay? I guarantee you'll get answers like Paris or, London. You won't get answers like France and Germany. The majority of the answers you're going to get are cities in Europe, because they're so used to seeing TikToks and these channels, and they don't even know basic geography. They took away cursive handwriting. The school's funding exponentially grew while the test scores drastically dropped. We have to do something different. He wants to put it back in the hands of the states, and I think we need to elect people based off of our circumstances, our social, how our states and our cities operate. But let's go ahead and get back to the video and see. Check out Idle Hands, Dave.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The Dave Show. I think it's a pretty good one. We're going to be touching a little bit on more of the silent riot.
Not be silent. Ooh. The silent riot has begun.
You're serious?
Will not be silent.
Oh. Okay, gotcha.
We will not be silent.
What?
The silent riot has begun.
Look, the silent riot
I want everybody to notice a theme.
But I'm sorry, but
I want everybody to notice.
I can't take somebody like that
similarities
seriously,
between the kinds of
trying to
people
be
that are
intimidating,
speaking.
It doesn't work.
The different sides, and you'll
so
notice.
So what's this new thing, this new trend that you guys are doing on the left? You guys are doing the quiet riot coming up. Yeah, I'm all for that. Let's go back to the 80s, best fucking decade ever. Quiet riot. Woo! What? A silent riot? What the fuck is that? Is that where you sit in a circle and you guys are just silent and you just shut the fuck up? Oh, well, yeah, that works. Okay, yeah, count me in on that one. Yeah, kind of like quiet riot, but silent riot, but whatever shuts you up.
For 4 years, and then you get another chance.
If you're still
That's
sitting
democracy
around,
that you're fighting
for.
I am kind of. Oh, okay, cool.
Silent riot
If my old ass has to put on my boots and defend my country again,
has begun.
Oh, okay. Right.
So many questions. One, do you guys not have anything better to do?
No.
I know that you really enjoy your protests and your dismantling of the oligarchy.
Yes, they get off
However,
on it.
You don't have anything else you could do with your time. And
not really.
Bigger question,
you don't
what
contribute
is the goal?
Nothing.
Like, what do you think is going to be achieved with the silent riot and the marches on April 5th? I have a newsflash for you, and you're going to hate to hear it, but on April 6th and every day after that until 2028, Donald Trump is still your president.
We will not be silenced.
Oh, no.
It's time for the silence.
And don't dare do something to him.
Very moody.
Because that's gonna make it real bad.
We will not be silent.
Oh.
The silent riot has
You
begun.
better leave him be.
We
All
will
right.
not be silent.
All right, we get it. Yeah.
The silent riot.
Very, very dramatic of her. I'm with him.
They having a silent riot.
Yeah, this whole thing is just, it's all theater. Nothing is going to come of it. It's going to fade out just as fast as it sprung up. So
yeah, but it gets annoying.
Yeah,
Dave.
maybe they'll have their
I'm
march.
sorry, Bubba, but it just gets so annoying.
I think that'll be the bellwether on whether this movement is actually catching on and being successful or quasi successful. If on if on April 5th, like, I don't know, 200,000 or 300,000 people show up at this march, and I'll be like, okay, they've got something. They might do something for a little while. Maybe it'll last longer than a month, but it's not going to last for all 4 years of President Trump. They're delusional. Well, I mean, we know they are delusional, but this is an extra thing they're delusional about. So anyways, well, hey, listen, let's listen to Elon Musk and
everybody listen
some of
to
the
this.
crazy
The man
stuff
that
he's,
saves astronauts.
found in government. It's kind of shocking. All right, let's take a look.
And I think it might be the biggest revolution in government since the original revolution. But at the end of the day, America is going to be in much better shape. America will be solvent.
Yeah.
The critical programs that people depend upon will work, and it's going to be a fantastic future. But are we going to get a lot of complaints along the way? Absolutely. You know, one of the things I learned
They need to make sure
was
the people receiving these
who
programs
complains the
are
loudest
legit.
and with the most amount of fake righteous indignation.
Story.
The fraudsters. It's a tell. Some of these NGOs that are crazy, like the $2 billion to Stacey Abrams' NGO that basically didn't exist, and suddenly gets $2 billion awarded from the federal government. Why?
Exactly.
And there are many such cases like that.
Why? Yeah, it is amazing how many of these little, I don't even know if you could call them NGOs, but these little for-profit or non-profit, I guess it's non-profit, organizations just sprouted up out of absolutely nowhere and given some,
Yeah, so like I've been looking at all the different sides, the left influencers, the right influencers, some of the influencers that get propped up and paid for, they get all these millions of views, but don't have nothing good to say. and I mean, basically they create this false persona on there to be something or not, and nobody would they wouldn't follow those people into anything. But I've been watching some good ones, I've been watching some bad ones. This guy's got a decent message. I don't know his background too much, but I like his show. He's got a good platform, good little base there. Okay, Rick. We got, even Russell Brand. I mean, I know he's British, but I mean, the dude speaks common sense. All the big conservatives that left YouTube's platform and went to Rumble because we're not allowed to say certain things. And I mean, I barely get any views. And I mean, I may not be the most interesting man in the world, but I can assure you that at least I got something to say, and at least I at one point signed my name to help the country, and that's all that matters is the ability and the willingness to do that. And some of the people that's speaking and getting you riled up, if you're on the left and believing some of the rhetoric, is people that have no business even being in it, and I don't understand how they're getting propped up. But let's look at a couple more debunked things before we end out this video. Okay, so he mocked a disabled reporter. The claims Trump imitated a disabled reporter's physical condition during the 2015 campaign event. It's debunked because the gesture Trump used, flailing arms, was a standard mockery he applied to multiple people, several people, not specific reporter Serge Kovaleski's disability, which is that word there. You see it on the screen. I mean, I just don't want to chop it. Video evidence shows Trump used it elsewhere, like for Ted Cruz. Fact checkers like the Washington Post noted no intent to mimic the disability was proven. Okay, so I don't know too much about that one. I can't really speak on it. That's just what this says, but I know the first two are legit. I've seen them with my own eyes. I looked at both sides. Trump suggested injecting bleach to treat COVID-19. Now, this one I do know about. I did see. And I myself had the first shot. And I believe that my arm is gone. Let's talk about these white fibrous strands that are being found in alive and autopsy people where they've had the COVID shot. I lost feeling in the entire top part of my skin here ever since then. And I don't get the flu. I don't get sick that often. I don't even know why I took that damn booster, because it's rare that and if I get the flu, it's one day, and it's every 7 years, maybe once every 7 years, if that. And that's not an exaggeration. I've always been healthy like that and healed. But since that shot, like brain fog, that is real. These injuries need to be looked into. So, Robert Kennedy, that's another debunked one. He's not a vaccine denier. He said that study needs to go into it, because they were willing to study on 10,000 children on a new round of COVID vaccines. Until Kennedy stopped it and said they need to do more research. They were willing to use 10,000 kids as guinea pigs. This is just a recent story. Look into that one. Yeah. So, the claim in 2020, Trump told Americans to inject bleach as a COVID-19 cure. Trump, April 23, 2020, his remarks were speculative, mentioning disinfectants and UV light as a potential research area. Okay? Potential research area. Is there any way we can do something like that by injecting inside? Meaning, can we do some research on that to see if there's any kind of disinfectant? I mean, it sounds silly, but I mean, it's a question. Are you asking any questions? No, you won't even talk to Republicans. So how can you ask a question? Oh, you're good at asking the wrong questions. Trump said Republicans are the dumbest voters. Claimed Trump said in 1998 People magazine interview that he'd run as a Republican because they're the dumbest group of voters. Debunked. No such interview even exists. Fact checkers like Snopes, CNN, and Full Fact Check traced this to a fabricated meme from 2015. So, and they like to do that. They like to dip into the well. They like to grab old memes and old stories, stretch the truth or add to it. They like to pay people to do stuff. It's getting so bad to the point that I don't see any hope, because it's just back and forth. I don't see any hope but just to do what America was founded, how it was founded. Trump wanted to eliminate Social Security. That's ridiculous. He wants to save it. So does Elon. They realize that the kids of the kids, they're going to need it. Don't worry about your needs. before the needs of your kids, the thing that's going to make your family live on. They want to make everything about race baiting, hating, not owning things. I'm a homeowner and I'm proud of it. And I would not be able to live in these cities that these people are doing this in. So let's see, Trump paid hush money to Stormy Daniels from a campaign funds. Claim he illegally used 2016 campaign funds to fund Stormy Daniels, the silencer. 2024 hush money trial showed payments came from Trump's personal fund via Michael Cohen, not campaign coffers. While convicted or falsifying records, the funding source wasn't campaign related. It was per court evidence too. Okay? Conservatives want to ban all abortions nationwide. No, he wants to kick it to the states. It depends on that state's infrastructure, how they're built, how they think, because you tend to kind of group together the same kinds of people in states, like-minded individuals, whatnot. Trump showed Laura Ingraham a Bitcoin white paper. Shown Fox News host Laura Ingraham a Bitcoin white paper. PolyFact clarified on March 8, 2025. The original video showed Trump displaying the clarification of independence, not a Bitcoin document. This was a social media fabrication. Yeah, there's a lot of fabrications, especially since they're hiding behind freedom of speech, something that they want to take away for everybody else, but they're allowed to make stuff up. And the more we debunk, the more they come up with it. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me. When's enough? When are we gonna fight back? When are we gonna do what nobody really wants to do, and fight back? All right, let's finish off this. Let's see if he's got anything else. We'll put it here. We'll see.
Is ignoring the collective bargaining agreement or union's agreements, and they're forcing people back into the office.
Oh, no.
It's unlawful, and it's horrible, and it's going to drive everybody's expenses up.
It's horrible.
But also, it's going to drive the department's budget up as well. Okay. Because we receive Metro benefits, and we receive a Capital Rideshare benefits as well. So they pay for us. They pay for us to ride the Metro to work, and they also pay for us to use bikes. So if they're forcing people to come into the office, then they're going to have to be paying people those Metro benefits and those Capital Rideshare benefits. So they're trying to save money, but they're not really saving money because people are entitled to those benefits.
Well, because they keep sending more overseas. They're not listening.
It's the same thing as sitting on your laptop in the office.
No, it's not.
No difference.
No, my dear, there is a big difference between working from home and working at the office. You're going to be just more productive when you're actually at work in your work environment around the people that you work with. Right? I mean, that's just common sense. But what is this I hear about the taxpayers paying for you to take the bus and for your coworkers to ride a bike? What? That I don't know. I mean,
nobody ever paid my way to work
in the office, but I don't think that should be a perk. Okay, I don't think that should be part of. No, I don't want to pay for you to take the bus.
Ain't nobody pays my way to work.
Bike? Give me a break. That needs to be. These people. That needs to be cut.
They're so
I was
entitled.
just sitting here thinking about Pt2 and TikTok.
Okay.
And I realized something.
Care.
That TikTok is the social media version of Pete Hegseth, right?
What? What are you talking about? I'm not getting the correlation between Pete Hegseth and TikTok.
Gosh, so embarrassing.
Unless you're saying that TikTok is a totally badass warrior that loves his country and is patriotic and every.
You guys say Donald Trump is making America the laughing stock of the world. That's only because you care about what the rest of the world thinks. And that, my friends, while you're living in this country, using the perks, the benefits of this country, living the way you are, as cush as you are, worried about what other countries think. That's your self-esteem issues. We don't give that. You're what's making the country look bad. People like that got on there. Nobody cares. Only reason I'm even doing this and wasting my time, I could be doing so many other things. The only reason I'm doing this is because I need... because people need to see this, and if I could just help one person, I guess that's enough. Because just comment down below if you do the homework I asked you. Just kind of watch some of these videos and see if you can notice a difference between healthy people and unhealthy people, and how the world has made it all about a political view and not just what's right for us as people. Why don't you guys think about that? Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Check out Dave here on Idle Hands Dave. 5.43 subscribers. Small channel. Mine's way smaller. And I don't think I'm going to get many views. I mean, that's fine by me. I get a couple. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you're tired of it. Tell me if... Let me get this over here. Tell me if the only option is left to do what we fear is the only option left. Because I'm not going to let some of the people that are doing some of the things they're doing do to me what I've seen be allowed done to some of these other kinder people. And as somebody who was a soldier, don't think anyone should allow themselves to be stepped on like that. If you're unhappy, protest all you want, talk about it all you want, but if you're actively slowing down the progress of America and you're trying to make things worse just because you disapprove of Trump, then you're not fighting for democracy, because everyone I've ever talked to voted for change. Ask your leaders, if you're any left or watching, ask your leaders what policies that they have enacted, and take note of that. California's bridge to nowhere, the train to nowhere, the wildfires. What else? Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty. Just ask yourselves. Comment down below. Do this down here. It helps the algorithm. I appreciate you watching. If you're still here, you're very loyal. I appreciate all my new subscribers.